Hey business owners, do you struggle training new employees? I believe that training is one of the most important aspects when bringing on a new team member. Training really helps cement the standards and the policies and procedures that you run in your business, and really helps them develop and reach their full potential as a really effective employee for you. Some business owners find that training is one of those kind of painful tasks that you know you need to do, but sometimes you just don't have enough time to do it, or you don't even know how to do it. I've found a method that I've used with lots of different business owners, and it works really, really well, and it's effective in helping them upskill and bring their employees up to speed much faster. I call this the 70-20-10 training rule, and it's broken down in 3 parts. I'm going to break these down for you right now. The 70-20-10 training rule is basically a ratio, and it divides up the amount of time roughly that you'll be spending on each area or each component of the new employee's training. Let's start at the very beginning with the 10. That stands for 10%. 10% ultimately is the theory component of what you're trying to teach someone. So we're wanting to really give them the theory, the understanding, think manuals or checklists or systems or practical learning, and what they're going to need to know. It's the knowledge that they're going to need to know to help them fulfill their task or their role. So I want to use an analogy for this, and I'm going to use an Olympic sprinter as my example. Let's say we've got an Olympic sprinter and he wants to become, the fastest man on the planet. He wants to rival Usain Bolt, and we need to teach him about how to sprint. The 10% in this scenario would be we're teaching him about body mechanics, about the perfect start, about how to run properly, about how to keep his body when he is running, about health and nutrition, all the theory and the understanding that that sprinter needs to know in order to be the world's best. The 10% or the 10 relates to him knowing and understanding the theory. The 20% in the 70-20-10 formula is assisted learning or coaching. This is where the coach or the trainer or the supervisor is going to spend time one-on-one with that new employee, and they're really going to make sure that they understand and can follow the theory bullet point by bullet point. It's really essential that they spend enough one-on-one time with this person so that they fully comprehend their task or their objective that they need to fulfill as the new employee. You've all heard the saying or the expression that practice makes perfect. I like to think that it's perfect practice makes perfect. And this is where the 20% part comes in, because we want to make sure that the checklists or the procedures or the theory that they're being taught is perfectly executed every single time. So if we go back to the sprinter example, the 20% relates to the coach and the sprinter. The coach is actually teaching the sprinter about the theory and the body mechanics and the nutrition and the diet, and making sure that he follows all of that to the T. The whole point of assisted learning is to ensure that they understand the process or the theory implicitly, and they're using that process or they're practicing that process perfectly every single time. Now the 70% of the 70-20-10 formula is actually doing the job or application of the task. Most people will need to learn by actually doing something over and over again, much like when you first start riding a bike. You generally understand that you need to move the pedals and steer in the right direction, but unless you actually give it a go and practice it, you're never actually going to master riding a bike without doing the work. The 70% relates to the new employee or the person that you're training doing the task over and over again until they get it right by themselves. Now there's a small catch here. You need to make sure that the person who is training them initially in that 20% stage is actually overseeing and assessing their work just to make sure that they're doing right, giving them accurate feedback and ensuring that the job is actually completed or done correctly the right time. The 70% is crucial because they need to get basically the notches on their belt, or they need to do the work to ensure that they understand the process. So the 70% in terms of the sprinter is the sprinter actually practicing for hours and hours on end, running that 100-meter stretch again and again and again, using the theory, using the understanding, and using the coaching support to help him to become the fastest runner possible. But he needs to put in the time and needs to put in the work to allow him to become the world's best. And that's my 70-20-10 training formula. So the 10% is the theory, the 20% is the assisted learning, and the 70% is doing the work. If you enjoyed this video and you want some more great content to help you grow your business, then head to our YouTube channel, the Upcoach Business Growth Programs channel. Please subscribe to that for fresh daily content that will really help you to move things along, or follow us on any of our other social platforms.